Do you know what is the most watched US sporting event? It is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl gets about 115 million viewers each year, and a lot of people tune in to watch a game that can last over 3 hours. Hi everyone, it's Hani here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and without further ado, let's dive right into the cookie decorating tutorial. I used my classic sugar cookie recipe to make the cookies and also my fresh lemon royal icing to prepare royal icing. We're going to need brown and white royal icing for this project. I also devised a handy cardstock template, and I'm using edible marker, tracing the guide onto the cookie. We're going to start by icing the bottom section first. And I'm using about 15-second consistency of royal icing. To color my royal icing, I used concentrated gel food coloring. There are so many different brands you can use. I used Emery color brand. This is chocolate brown. If you don't have brown food coloring, you can also use red and green, and mixed together they will kind of make a really nice brown. We're going to let this crust for about 30-40 minutes, and then we can ice the top section. While the icing is wet, use your scribe tool and distribute the icing evenly, accentuate the points, and then just let it crust for a little bit, and then we can ice the top section. I'm going to show you two ways how you can approach decorating this football. We're going to do some simple airbrushing. I've got my stencil here. If you don't have a stencil holder, you can use magnets to keep the stencil in place. If you do have a stencil holder, by all means use your stencil holder. Stencil I'm using, it's a pop art, like a fading polka dot stencil. You can just use straight polka dots if you have that. And we're going to airbrush with brown airbrush food coloring. I let my cookies dry overnight, and then we can safely place the stencil on top of it. We don't have to worry that it's going to mess up the icing. Now I come in with my handy template again. This time I'm using scribe tool, and I'm very gently scratching the surface of the icing. You'll see the scratch marks are there, and it's fantastic because you don't have to second guess yourself where to pipe or where to draw. Now I'm using edible marker, making the basically these are going to be holes for the laces. And this is brown edible marker. Here I've got black edible marker. This is a marker by Rainbow Dust. It's a dual tip marker. It has a fine tip and a more of a standard size tip. It compares to the Food Doodlers. However, I'm going to be using the fine tip. And I'm just going to go around, follow that outline or the guide I made with the scribe tool. Now I've got my piping bag filled with thick consistency royal icing, and this is a ribbon piping tip. Number 44. If you don't have this particular piping tip, you can also use basket weave. Just make sure that you use you make sure that the tip basket weave traditionally has teeth on one side and one side is smooth, so make sure that you're piping with the smooth side up. Now you can see my icing is thick, so it's not spreading, and it's very easy to trim the icing with my little handy decorating tool. This is a scribe tool or a boo-boo stick or a cookie scraper or two-in-one tool. This little tool has so many different names. It is very useful in cookie decorating, and I have several of these. Now I'm using about piping consistency royal icing here, and I'm just going to cover this section here. Now this is totally optional, but I just like the way how it looks. Now we're going to cover part of the piping tip with the masking tape, and we're going to use it to make the laces. Again, very important for this step, icing needs to be thick consistency. If it's too runny, it's just going to spread and it's going to lose its shape. Now I'm going to trim the ends, kind of tuck it under that first line. And that's the first design. In second design, we're going to skip the airbrushing. In case you don't have an airbrush, you can use brown petal dust with a little bit of gray petal dust if you have that, or just use brown petal dust. And I'm just gonna go around that groove here with my brown and just a little bit of gray petal dust to give it some nice shading, and it's just going to help with the dimension. You want to make sure that you're using food only paintbrush and your brush needs to be dry. Alright, so this is in case you don't have an airbrush and you don't have a polka dot stencil. Everything else is the same. Let's quickly recap. We're going to make the holes for the laces. Then we can make the white stripes, trim the ends immediately after doing so. And now if you'd like, you can pipe that line on the bottom, or you can just leave it like it is. And now we can do the laces. For all the recipes, you can find those on my blog, hanielas.com. I also have my cookie recipe and royal icing recipe here on my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified about my new uploads, and I will see you next time. Bye!